They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. Very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Across the world, news outlets are buzzing. President Donald Trump's comments about Nigeria have set off plenty of reactions. He talked about cutting aid and even hinted at possible military action in Nigeria over attacks on Christians. Since then, the story has been trending everywhere on international media. Make we see their reports.
The US President Donald Trump is threatening Nigeria with potential military action, accusing the country's government of enabling the religious persecution of Christians. The Nigerian president has pushed back against the claims, while a spokesperson says it welcomes U.S. assistance in fighting extremist groups like Boko Haram.
President Trump saying he's ordered the Pentagon to prepare for possible military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the killing of Christians. Quote, "If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs who attack our cherished Christians." The president also weighing in on sending U.S. troops into Nigeria.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians and killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
CEO of the Brewer Group, Jack Brewer, joins me now. Jack, thank you so much for joining us. It's good to see you. Now that the president has drawn attention to this, we're getting a lot of reaction from people, even those who don't particularly dive into anything political, like rapper Nicki Minaj, who had this to say: "We live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing their religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously." So what would you like to say about this as someone who is a proud Christian and whose faith is a central part of their life?
I just say amen. I made a comment the other day. Any Christian church, any Christian group or organization that is not praying for our president right now and really just continue to believe in our nation again. This has been happening for about 15 years, Carly. This is not a new thing. We're persecuting Christians, particularly in Nigeria.
Hello and welcome. We begin with US President Donald Trump's latest remarks. The Republican leader reiterated his threat of a military operation in Nigeria, citing alleged killings of Christians. Aboard Air Force One, Trump was asked about deploying American troops in Nigeria or launching airstrikes in the West African country.
Now, we've got to talk about something that should be getting a lot more coverage around the world, and that's the slaughter of Christians continuing in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. The images, the videos of the slaughter are harrowing, horrific to put to air. President Donald Trump has announced he is designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. He wrote, "Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern." Josh, the president emphasised that action must be taken, but what will that action look like?
Well, that remains to be seen. I think that's very much a question that the American people are currently curious about. Rita, for what it's worth, personally, I've been following the story for many, many years now. Boko Haram is one of the world's most brutal Islamic terrorist organizations. They are just as brutal as ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, you name it. And they control large swaths. They have effective day-to-day territorial control of maybe not large swaths of Nigeria, but decent swaths of the country. And it's a massive problem for the beleaguered and besieged Christian population in those areas.
Well, the development comes after Trump blasted Nigeria on Saturday, asking Pentagon to map out a possible plan of attack in Nigeria, claiming that Christianity was facing an existential threat in Africa's most populous country. The claim has since drawn the attention of the Nigerian government, who has rejected Trump's claims and proposed cooperation in combating terrorism. When asked aboard Air Force One if he was considering sending troops on the ground in Nigeria or airstrikes, Trump replied that he envisaged a lot of things, adding that a large number of Christians were being killed by Nigeria.
Could be. A lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians.
Nigeria said on Sunday it would welcome U.S. help in fighting Islamist insurgents, as long as its territorial integrity is respected, responding to threats of military action by President Donald Trump over what he said was the ill treatment of Christians in the West African country. Trump said on November 1st he had asked the Defense Department to prepare for possible, fast, military action in Nigeria if Africa's most populous country fails to crack down on the killing of Christians.
Some news stations say President Trump isn't taking things lightly. His tone sounds like a clear warning to Nigeria. In Europe, papers describe it as a bold but risky move that could shake US-Africa relations. Analysts believe both countries need to calm heads and dialogue because this matter fit easily escalate if handled with pride instead of strategy. As things stand now, the world's eyes dey on Nigeria. This one no be time for press statements and grammar from spokespersons like Daniel Bwala, who is jumping from station to station.
President Donald Trump has a way of, or a unique style of forcing a sit down by probably tweeting something that is pungent and forceful.
Well, let's speak further then about this with Dr. Daniel Bwala, who is an advisor to the Nigerian president. A very good evening to you, sir. Welcome to SABC News. So, President Trump speaking to media aboard Air Force One, even after the President Tinubu issued a statement saying that Nigeria is not a country where there's persecution of Christians. Trump remains open to the possibility of military action, etc. in Nigeria. Where does that leave your government?
Well, thank you for having me. We recognize the passion and the zeal that President Donald Trump has demonstrated wanting to help Nigeria. And we welcome that as long as that respects our territorial integrity. And what we welcome in this collaboration is they know, Americans know that we need high-tech fighter jets, we need high-tech equipment, we need high-tech machinery for the purposes of curtailing and destroying this Boko Haram. But the idea of coming militarily into our soil will violate international order, will violate international convention, and it will not be good because Nigeria is not a hostile country. Nigeria is a partner with the American government in many respects. We have shared destiny, we have shared interests in democracy, promoting the rule of law, we have exchange program, we share intelligence. So Nigeria is not a hostile country that America will have to come militarily to intervene in our internal affairs.
The government needs to go beyond whitewashing on international media outlets. Nigeria is supposed to show practical leadership, talk less, act more. The main thing that will make sure say all the killings in the north and the rest of Nigeria are stopped. Not be to leave bandits, kidnappers and terrorists, make them they kill people while government they chase after innocent protesters to put in jail. How will they know genocide is going on somewhere?
This is also telling us that the Nigerian government is struggling to combat the likes of Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, for instance, in Nigeria. Why are they still a big threat?
Well, the Nigerian government has been particularly inefficient over the last 15 years with dealing with this threat. At various points, they've either neglected to follow up with attacks, or they've even neglected to prosecute people who have been identified as sponsors and perpetrators of these attacks. And in some instances, they've made very controversial decisions to pardon and integrate some terrorists.
When asked aboard Air Force One if he was considering sending troops on the ground in Nigeria or airstrikes, Trump replied that he envisaged a lot of things, adding that a large number of Christians were being killed in Nigeria.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria.
He added that Christianity was facing an alleged existential threat in Nigeria because of radical Islamists. After Trump's order to prepare for a military attack, US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that the Department of War is preparing for action.
I beg my people, do you think President Trump should send soldiers to Nigeria to stop the killings? Or do you believe no country, not even the United States, has the right to threaten military action against a sovereign African nation? Let your voice be heard. Subscribe, share this video, and join the conversation.